Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung, a pro wrestling podcast. I am your host, KG, and with me tonight is WCW veteran, author of Looking Up at the Lights, the one, the only, Robbie Idol. What's going on, brother?
Not much. How you doing, KG?
Man, I'm doing good. Goddamn, fans are lucky today. They get to see me twice, back to back.
See that pretty face, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I'm the only one that, says they have a pretty face, but somebody has to believe in me, and it might as well be me.
Right.
So, man, we are here to talk about Monday Night Raw, and I tell you, I got to be honest with you, with the exception of a couple of things, I wasn't feeling it last night. I really wasn't.
Okay.
No. Your thoughts on the show as a whole?
On a whole, I liked it. There was a couple of things I could have done without, but so I guess we kind of have different thoughts.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Let's get into it. Started the show right off with Gunther celebrating him beating John
Cena.
Jesus Christ, it's totally that. Look, I actually like this a lot. I love Gunther going to the ring into just a hail of boos. Him walking all the way to the announcer's table, gets on top of it to antagonize the fans. He then gets to the ring, doesn't say hardly anything at all, but what he said really hit the fans hard. And his words was basically, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, I made him tap like a bitch. I loved it. I loved him antagonizing the fans. I love him leaving the ring to leave the building, but then stopping halfway and going back to the ring, back to the announcer's table, just to antagonize the fans anymore, and reminding all the fans again, all the John Cena fans, all the ones that was crying and boo-hooing on Saturday night, that he made him tap like a bitch. Reminded them, and he said it again. I was rolling. I was laughing. I love Gunther. I really do. I know you and Bob Cook aren't high on him, but I like this guy, man, 100%.
He solidified himself as one of the heels.
That's for sure.
That definitely solidified that position. I gave him credit for it. Just everything he did gave him credit. As far as this is, like I said, not a fan of him. I don't think he could carry the company. Like if they put that on his back, I don't think he could carry it. That's just my opinion, my thought of it. I just don't think he's that guy that could carry the company, you know. But as far as the heel part, he definitely solidified it last night, and that, hopefully that raises his bar, and maybe it's you definitely know they're pushing them, using them and stuff like that. So maybe he'll prove me wrong.
Yeah, you know more about what it takes to carry a company than I do. Obviously, you've been in the ring. You're a veteran of the ring. You wrestled for many years. I'm just a fan, but from a fan's viewpoint, I don't know if I'd be willing to say if he could carry the company or not if it came to that, because of the fact that I haven't seen Gunther as a babyface, right? So I don't know if he has the ability to get the fans behind him like John Cena or a Hulk Hogan, or a Rock or a Stone Cold. But this is what's different, though, about all of those guys where they're baby faces versus Gunther. If Gunther even ever became a baby face, and I will admit this, all those guys that I mentioned, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, they were all charismatic in their own way. And I think to be a successful babyface, you do have to be charismatic. I think it's much easier to be a heel when you're not charismatic. And correct me if I'm wrong. So, I would have to see how his style would be to have the fans love him in order for him to actually carry the company if it came to that. Because Robbie, correct me if I'm wrong, but normally the guy that's carrying the company on their back are guys that are baby faces, correct?
Yes, yes. And maybe maybe it came out wrong on
Right.
that. So, like I said, he definitely he elevated his spot as
Mhm.
one of the top heels.
Right.
So I'm wrong in that sense. So if he's put in the like main
Robbie, I hate
event,
to interrupt you. Let me interrupt real quick. Holy shit, guys. Breaking news. Fucking George Strong
Hey,
just joined us. Wasn't expecting it. Talking about personalities. Thank God George Strong is here because between Robbie and I, we don't have personalities. We need to save our lives. So George Strong's here to save the day. What's going on, my man?
oh man, just I'm still trying to get my laptop to work with this crap, so I don't have to hold my phone. But I'm here now.
We were just talking about the first segment of the show, talking about Gunther. Just to give you a little bit of feedback so you can give us your feedback. I said I loved it. I love fucking Gunther being a heel. I loved what he did. I loved him taunting the fans. I love him saying I made that bitch tap multiple times. I love him for
Yeah.
acting like he was leaving to come back. Now, of course, Robbie, go ahead, Robbie. Share your thoughts again with George Strong and everything we're talking about so he can
okay,
join
I
in.
I definitely said I'm giving him credit. He definitely elevated his spot as a heel. I and I'm going to correct myself. Said I don't think he could carry the company. And after the talk, I was thinking as a heel, but he has definitely solidified it. So I'm going to take that back. I'm not saying he'll be able to carry the company, but now he's serving more of a purpose in the main event because now people want to see him get beat.
Right. And
So
George,
I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
and George, my response to that right before you joined was this. Robbie, he's wrestling veteran. So he knows a little bit more about what it takes, not a little bit, a lot more what it takes to, hold the company on your shoulders than I do. But from a fan's perspective or my perspective, I'm not ready to say if he could or he couldn't because this is the thing. When it comes to people who carry the company, we're talking about your John Cena's, your Stone Cold Steve Austin's, your Hulk Hogan's, right? Your Rocks. They all had one thing in common. They all had charisma as baby faces because normally it's the baby face that carries the weight on the shoulders to carry the company. I've never seen Gunther be a baby face. I don't know if he has that charisma or not. Judging according to what I see right now, him being that heel, I would say no, he doesn't have that type of charisma, but he doesn't need it as the heel of the company because he's doing what heels do. After saying that, do you think that Gunther does have more of a character than what he's demonstrating? And do you think if it actually came down to it, as a baby face, he would actually be able to carry the company? And also tell us what you thought about last night in this segment.
So starting with the question at hand, I think he does. I think he has more personality than what people think because of just look at him as a heel, how he can laugh at the crowd. Like some of that was real laugh. Like I think he wanted to laugh more when he was trying to talk and the crowd started booing. But it's like, and then, I kind of look towards the end as he walks into the back before he like plays it off and comes back to the ring. He's kind of fake laughing. So it's like, he has it all down. He has all the tools as far as how to make the crowd like hate him and stuff like that. So, I mean, a guy like him being his character, I hate saying it, like being a final boss or like a basic person to piss people off. I think he has enough charisma and personality to be a baby face. Now, I'm not saying like pure baby face, but enough. And sometimes we need those heels that can carry the company just for the time being, the unbeatable guys to build up that true baby face to come knock him off the top of the mountain. And I think that's what Gunther is. And I think that's what some people get tired of. It's like, oh, he's got to beat Goldberg. Oh, he's got to beat John Cena. Looking at the segment, I mean, he came face. I don't know if y'all got to it yet, but he came face to face with AJ Styles. Don't be surprised if that happens next. Even even if AJ wins, don't be surprised if that's his last match or maybe his last WrestleMania. But no, I think Gunther's big enough personality on the screen to be able to carry the company no matter what he is. You may not like him as a face. You may get used to him being it. It's like a Logan Paul thing too. It's like, do I really want him as a baby face? I could see him doing it, but do I want him as one? Because there's so many people that don't like him and they keep putting him in positions to have people not like him. Contrary to that, look at the match against Solo. People hate Solo so much. You got two heels. They were cheering Gunther until almost even after he was cheating, but he gave him a reason not to like him. So, right.
Right.
So he can definitely do it. In the segment, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I love him doing the victory laps and going back and forth with the crowd. Easy heat for a guy that just beat one of the greatest to ever touch the WWE ring. So it works. It keeps him in a good position, no matter who he loses to now. It's like, look, I beat him. He's not going to be an Austin Theory. He's going to be a Gunther. It's like, I beat John Cena. I beat Goldberg. I've won on the big stage. I've had the Intercontinental belt longer than a honky tonk man. I'm here whether y'all like me or not.
Right. And let's talk about a couple of things outside of Monday Night Raw for a moment. Then we'll continue the segment that involved AJ Styles. And so a couple of things that are floating around. And this is a rumor. It may end up being true. I don't know. WWE has not come out and said this yet, but it is floating around that at SummerSlam, it will be Brock Lesnar's last match. It's going to be his retirement match, and he will be facing Gunther. Now, and let me tell you, I hope that's true because I will be at SummerSlam this year. It's right in my backyard here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I will be there, and I would love to be part of that. Let's stop for a second there before we go further on some things I want to discuss about with Gunther, John Cena, and Saturday Night's Main Event. Robbie, what are your thoughts? If this rumor was true and we had a Brock Lesnar versus Gunther, WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar's last match. Look, I said there was no way that John Cena was fucking tapping on Saturday night, and I was dead wrong. I want to say there's no way that they're going to have Brock Lesnar fucking tap, but I don't know. Not getting John Cena. This, I guarantee you, John Cena had feedback in this. I guarantee you that this was John Cena saying this is how he wanted to go out. So, man, could you see Brock Lesnar actually tapping out to Gunther at a SummerSlam for his final match?
Truthfully, no. If it's Brock's final match, I can see him losing, but I couldn't see him tapping.
Right. Now let's remember, Brock Lesnar has tapped one time before.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, George may remember this. I think it was during the Elimination Chamber match. 1 year. Let me look this up. Go ahead, Robbie. And then,
it would have been Benoit, Kurt Angle, or John Cena, because that's the only people I know that he fought with. Not saying they're the only ones, but that could have beat him. But it's vague for me. It might have been early on. I don't know about recent.
Yeah, let me look this up. But go ahead and finish.
Yeah, I can see him losing, but I don't see him tapping. But it's the wrestling business. But if they said, "Hey, we want you to tap," he could say, "Screw you, I'll walk," and you don't have a match. So,
right.
I just think his input. I just can't see it happening.
So Brock Lesnar has actually tapped out in WWE 4 times.
Oh, really?
Angle, Chris Benoit, to both of those guys twice.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
I knew that. It had to be one of those two or both.
Right. So that kind of changed the scenario in my mind a little bit about him possibly tapping out. But again, we're talking about this would be his last match. So I don't know. Now something else. The basement dwellers, man, the hot pocket little fuckers in the basement were angry. These keyboard warriors came out all over social media after John Cena tapped, and they were crying about it. They were saying Triple H is a no good son of a bitch. How dare you have John Cena keep that way? Blah, blah, blah. That he's an idiot. This will never work. Guys, I hate to tell it to you. You being angry shows it's already fucking working. You were supposed to be angry about it. And not to mention, this, look, George, I'll ask you this. Do you for 1 second believe that John Cena didn't have a say-so in this shit?
As I didn't see the post show and all of that, but I know there was a quote of saying something about John wanted to do whatever was right. So when it came down to if he had input, I'm sure Triple H said, "Hey, you want to go out on top, or you want to how you want to do this? Like, I'm giving you the choice because it's your match." And I'm sure John said, "Let's do whatever has to be done." He didn't answer it the way everybody's like, "Oh, of course," or "Oh, well, Gunther." No, I think John was like, "Whatever you want to do, you're the booker." That's where I could see that conversation going. It's not an easy yes or no. It's a simple, look, this is your show. You do what you want to do. I'm down with it because I'm John Cena, and that's how I am. I've been down with it no matter what.
Right.
So he got an NXT showcase, and he lost the last match of his career. He probably had everything to do with most of that show as far as who was on there and why.
Now, Robbie, correct me. Tell me if you think of this statement that I'm about to say is wrong. Look. This match on Saturday night's main event, John Cena's last match. Number one thing that, and I keep on talking about it, and you guys have addressed it, is I hate that they keep on saying that, Gunther's the one that sent John Cena into retirement. No. This wasn't a retirement match. If whoever lost had to retire, this was John Cena's last fucking match. This has been planned. But this is the thing. The way I look at it, this was much more important than even a title match. And I'll tell you why. The only thing Gunther could take away from John Cena was what John Cena has always been about, never giving up. By making John Cena tap, this could literally be compared to Gunther taking the title away from John Cena. And that's why I love it. That's why people, well, why do they make him tap? This is why. What else could happen? What else could they do to take away from John Cena? His shoulders have been pinned before. It's not like he was undefeated. He didn't have a title to defend, but he had the never give up thing to defend that Gunther took away from him. That is now elevating Gunther. Robbie, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree. But also, like where you said, did you like what you think Cena or Cena had a say in it? If you watched afterwards when Cena kind of tapped out, when he sat up, he had a big smile on his face. Now, who smiles after they get tapped out? So, I mean, obviously, either the crowd just didn't pay attention, or
they absolutely paid attention. That's something else they were bitching about. That John Cena, like, that was terrible. He was smiling. No, guys, it wasn't terrible. That was the perfect ending, because in my head, when I seen Cena smile and then tap out right after, although I was surprised they tapped out, don't get me wrong, but what went through my head was this was a man at that very second had his whole career flash in front of him. All that he did for professional wrestling. A man that could leave in peace. He tapped out and it was done with, right? I thought it was perfect. George, what'd you think about the smile? And do you kind of understand where I'm coming from with what I just said?
Absolutely perfect. And not to steal Kurt Hennig's catchphrase, it was symbolic and also something we always make fun of and rag on for every Monday Night Raw. The recap was absolutely perfect. When you see the flashback as he smiles before he taps out, that's exactly what they wanted. That's exactly what Triple H and production wanted. And then for him to, sell the choke out, get up and smile, and he looks around at the crowd also while the camera's still on. He said, "That's all I got." He's looking at fans like, "That's all I got." It's the same almost the same reaction he had when he lost the belt to Cody at SummerSlam. He's like, he's the next in line. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had that smirk. Like, he beat me. He got the best of me. With Gunther, it was not just he got the best of me. It was like, that's it. I can't do this anymore. That was it. I fought as much as I could. Sometimes you got to give up. This time, it was my last time. So, you know, you go back to the Brock Lesnar 4 tap outs. That was number 4 for John Cena. So it's like he's only tapped out as you know, this John Cena once. So I think the other 2 were thugonomics, John, as he was transitioning to the guy we saw Saturday night. But it was very symbolic, and people can have sour grapes over it. But, you know, we heard the same thing, and social media was definitely prevalent. We heard the same thing when Kurt Angle got beat by Baron Corbin. It was a terrible idea. Kurt Angle should go out on top. Kurt Angle could barely walk. He was not worried about winning a match. He was happy he got to wrestle for another year.
Right. And again, them having sour grapes proves that it works.
Yeah.
Now, the segment went on with Gunther walking through the backstage, coming across different people. They having, you know, they were all pissed off, sour grapes. Gets to the parking lot. Then there's AJ Styles. Now, look, for a minute there, I thought Gunther's car was fucked up, but it was snow that was on it. But it made it look like, you know, even Chris was like, wow, they went all out in this. We know it was just snow.
I thought his tires were slashed too.
But yeah, AJ Styles, Gunther gets face to face. They said what they said. My favorite thing about this segment, you know, what happened next was as Gunther was leaving, he stopped, rolled down the windows, and said,
"Hey, Jay, bro." The initial reaction was I was dying laughing at that point. I was already kind of smirking with the whole segment. And then when that happened, I was just dead, dude. I was like, oh my God, that was perfect. The crowd couldn't do anything but laugh either.
Right. Robbie, talk to me, man.
He definitely elevated himself to, you know, to that next level of the heel and stuff. So he just elevated himself. That whole segment, it was perfect.
Right.
You know, he did what he had to do. He did what he put himself, you know, pushed himself even further.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Next, we go to the Usos versus the New Day. God, I'm just going to be honest with you. The match wasn't bad, but it was underwhelming. Now, I will admit that the reason it was probably underwhelming for me was probably on me. Because the Usos of the New Day are the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express, in my opinion. These guys work well together. So my expectations and the bar I had so high for this match that I think I let myself down with this match in a way, because it wasn't their great matches that they had in the past. It was good, but that's the problem for myself, was it was just good. I was expecting wow, right? So I could, again, I'll take that. I let myself down by having such high expectations. George, talk to me about this match, man, and your thoughts.
So being 2 of my favorite tag teams, it's kind of different because, like, I was excited when they announced that they were doing a match, and then it happens, and I'm like, this wasn't as good as some of their other matches. It was definitely good. It was worth it, but you can see the rust of they haven't wrestled each other in forever. So it's like, it's not the Usos or the New Day having problems with each other. It's just like the teams being together for the first time in so long, and they're so good at what they do as tag teams. And then it's like, you got to also add in and I hate to say it, the age and the weight factor, not Kofi. But everybody's a little bit bigger than what they were last time they wrestled. Like, even Xavier Woods bulked up a little bit. But like, the Usos have obviously gained weight. They're starting to look like they're dead. So it's like some of the stuff.
I thought you said that was your favorite team. That was a low blow.
That was not a low blow. It's gonna happen if they don't shape up. They're gonna shape into Rikishi. And I'm being serious. I'm not being Bob Cook right now. Like, they're getting big, and it's like they can't do all the stuff they were doing before when they were New Day versus Usos.
Right.
So the match was good. I liked it. It's just, you know, even though the 1D was a little bit rusty because Jimmy didn't even catch Xavier Woods. He had him, and then they hit the ground, and it was like that was it. It's like he let him go mid fall.
Yep.
But no, I like the match. I mean, we're obviously just setting up the Usos versus my new favorite tag team, AJ Lee, of the tag team champions. But I'm here for it.
Robbie, man, what'd you think about this match? Was this a match that you're glad they had, or was this a match you could have just went without?
I could have went without it. Because you knew the outcome, because you're gonna see them pushing the Usos now that they're back together, you know, so they can get to George's new favorite tag team tag. You know, to make George happy that he'll get to see the Usos versus AJ and Dragon Lee. So, you know, they gotta make somebody happy. They got too many basement dwellers there bitching and complaining. George's not complaining, he just wants to see the Usos in his new favorite tag team. I could have done without it because you just knew where it was going. It was an okay match, though.
Right, right. Next, we go to backstage division. Logan Paul and Bronson Reed celebrating putting LA Knight on the shelf with a cracked sternum. Paul Heyman presents. I can't read my own right. Hold on. Paul Heyman stated that he didn't know the identity of the mystery masked man, but would accept the help. Braun Breaker wanted to attack CM Punk immediately, but Heyman convinced him to be patient and protect his title shot on January 5th. I mean, it was what it was, in my opinion. You know, I think that it was necessary only because of the whole masked man thing happening and what went on to happen last night. They really, to me, was stressing the fact that Paul Heyman has no idea about this masked man. Robbie, your thoughts on this backstage segment with Paul Heyman?
Yeah, I agree with you that it served its purpose about, with the masked man and stuff like that, and still trying to control Braun Breaker. So it had its purpose.
Right. George?
So I'm gonna backtrack here. I just want to see who AJ Styles is gonna catch with that Styles Clash out of Jay and Jimmy. Like if he's gonna be able to hold them up. That's all I got.
This next part is where it was overkill. Because
can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
If they keep putting more weight on, he ain't going to catch either one of them.
No.
So.
Oh man!
Sorry about that, KG. He opened the door for that one.
Hey, let me stop.
Now
the Usos trained with somebody in Louisiana. They may see this and never come back. I might be on the show and be able to be on there with them, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, that dude's reffing. He's out. I'm out." Or something.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna get rid of him.
Now I'm going to have to scratch off the possibility of ever having the Usos on this podcast.
My bad. That's on me.
This is where it became overkill, because now we have Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce. Again, Adam Pearce insisting that Paul Heyman knows about the masked man. Paul Heyman's like, but I don't. By the end of tonight, I want to know who it is. Now, not only was that overkill, but to me, that was the moment that I knew that we'd find out the identity of the masked man. So therefore, when it happened, I wasn't shocked about finding out the identity, although I may have been shocked to find out who it was. We'll get there. George, did we have to have 2 segments backstage with Paul Heyman addressing the masked man?
Yes and no. So the part where I say no is literally the end. It's like the way they stressed it, but it's like Paul Heyman had already left the room. Adam Pearce was like, I want to know who it is by the end of the night. And it's like he's talking to himself because Paul's like, I'm not hearing it, I'm out. But if they would have just left that part out, it'd have been more of a surprise. And I'm not saying it wasn't, because obviously we've had our internet speculation for the last couple of weeks. But, some lines could have did without the the scene. But all this segment just got us to the end of the night faster. That's all.
Right. Robbie, was this really necessary, or was this just basically, filler?
Overkill. It's overkill. I mean, but it was funny when with Paulie when he said it's Seth Rollins, it's Becky Lynch, named off somebody else. I don't know. So I mean, that was funny, and that's where they should have just left it and let Paul walk out of the room. And then you kind of went, okay, they're probably going to do this, but we'll address that when we get to that point with the Masked Man.
Right. And, there's something I wanted to, let's see if I still have it. Here it is. Let's see. I want to go back to the whole thing with Gunther and John Cena just for a moment, because I just remembered I read this and I had to read this. This is by a guy by the name of, I'm going to call him out, Blake Roberts DeFore, whatever the fuck his last name is. He says, and that's the last show I'm watching from WWE. I haven't watched a WWE show since WrestleMania Las Vegas, and I came back to watch all of this, and I don't know what the hell that was, but that was absolute garbage, start to finish. Like, what are you doing? And the same exact move every 12 seconds and like 15 times the match. And then what was that finish? You did like the same move already like 15 times on them. And then you finish the match with the exact move you've done half the horrible matches. The idiot can't write. The chants from the crowds were exactly what the match needed. I hope whoever made this match and produced it gets what they deserve for putting together such a horrible match. No wonder I can't watch wrestling on TV. I was yelling at the TV the whole time. Gunther, you really made yourself the best heel on TV after this one for sure. I'm sure, but I'm going to be completely honest. They made the business look terribly fake during this match. And I know it's not, but they made it look horrible fake from start to finish because he says, that's all I'm going to say. And that I may not be watching another wrestling show on TV for WWE. I feel so bad for the way Cena went out. I'd be utterly embarrassed and peed off if I was blocked like that as Cena. Again, you dopey fucking fans. This proves what they did worked. You guys are all pissed the fuck off. And I assure you, this idiot's going to watch WWE.
You want to know something funny about him? He has like podcasts and stuff.
Does he?
Yes. So he brings people on. He has podcasts and stuff. He's like a 16-year-old kid, or he's a high school kid. It's funny. I'm gonna throw him in, and I'm gonna say this. It was funny. One of the gym I work out, a few people they found out I wrestled, and one guy was talking to me, and he was very respectful and stuff, but he didn't know I wrestled, but he heard the conversation talking about wrestling. Another guy, he kind of chimed in, and just because, and we'll throw this kid in there like this, chimed in, acting like he knew about it because he watched Dark Side of the Ring. So I shut my mouth because I was like, I knew the guy didn't know I wrestled or anything, and I wanted to go, and he was kind of like telling me how the business was and stuff, and I'm just kind of laughing, and I'm thinking, dude, I was there. Just because you watch some documentary on Dark Side of the Ring and you think you know what you're talking about, I'm like, it's funny,
Yeah, Plug Hates 62 says, who are you guys talking about? Just got here talking about a fan. I guess this guy has his own podcast called Robert DeFure. Because I want to make a point. This is why some wrestling fans drive me absolutely fucking batty, because they know nothing about the business. And it's not the fact that they don't know anything about the business, it's the fact that they act like they know something about the business. Because again, as we all talked about, in what world do these people live in that they don't believe, or even it doesn't cross their mind, that John Cena had a say-so in this match? And I assure you, if he did not want it to end with a tap out, it would have not ended with a tap out. John Cena had 100% say so in this match. He's one of the, not what he, up to date in the past 20 years has been the biggest star for WWE. This guy, John Cena, again, but he wanted to do what's best for business. He wanted to give Gunther that plug. He thought that's what's best for WWE. And that's why he did what he did. George.
I think you're wasting too much time on this guy. There's a lot of fans that it's like it's happened.
More than 15 minutes of fame.
Filler. I'm trying to be like Monday Night Raw. We gotta have filler, man. Come on.
No, man, you're giving this dude way more press. He's probably gonna get more likes and follows now because he's like putting him on blast. Now he's gonna have a bunch of people in his comments. Oh, you heard that dude talking about you? Like, look, man, some fans just don't know how to sever the line between reality and show. This is the entertainment business. This is the sports entertainment business. So, like you said, for your preference, and you watch AEW more than WWE because you like the wrestling, and some of the entertainment is fun.
That's not true.
You watch WWE. Let me finish. You watch WWE for the stories because they're more consistent than AEW. Right. Me, I prefer WWE. It's just one of those things where it's like I remember goofy wrestling and storylines together on the same show between watching WCW and WWF back in the day. I didn't get into it because, that was a cool 20-minute wrestling match. That's not saying it's not. That's just not what drew me in. I saw Sting jump over the top rope and hit the 4 Horsemen. I was like, that dude's awesome. I'm watching this from now on. Right. And when he kept fighting other people, and then I've seen people like the Road Warriors and Junkyard Dog and all of them, it was just it. It didn't have to be a 20-minute match. One-man gang beating on some little dude from down the street, not Robbie. But that's the stuff. And it's like there's none of that anymore to be like, oh, yeah, Robbie Idol got beat by some guy. Now it's like, oh, man, can you believe Robbie Idol tapped out? He's way bigger than that dude, man. It's like make up your mind what you want out of wrestling. It's like stick with something.
And plug, we don't say what aggravates me are the fans who go, wrestling is dead. It sucks now because the Attitude Era is over, as if the business isn't allowed to evolve. Yeah, and I agree.
Right.
And to your point, I love WWE and I love AEW, I love NWA, but you are right. I watch WWE for very different reasons while I watch AEW, and I watch NWA for very different reasons than I watch AEW or WWE. But ultimately, it breaks down to is I love professional wrestling, right? If it's on TV and my wife is sleeping and I know I won't get divorced for watching professional wrestling, let's get back to WWE. Next, we go to the Kabuki Warriors, who end up attacking Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Basically, Asuka spit miss in Rhea Ripley's face, and basically they kicked the ass of Rio and Io Sky. I didn't mind this. It was fine. It's adding more fire to the feud that's happening between these 4 women. George, start with you, man. What you think about this?
I like the segment. I think security needs to do a better job. That I got fans spitting blue mist at Rhea Ripley. Like, how did that even happen? It was just one of those things where you saw something coming. It's like it was business as usual. And then, like the way that and that's the production nerd in me. It's like the way that camera panned after Io Sky disappeared off the screen. I was like, oh god, something's about to happen. I'm thinking Asuka's gonna jump off the barricade. No, it was Asuka popping up with the mist, and then Io has horror movie moment because she looks up and sees Kairi Sane flying through the air. I loved it. Like everything about that segment was perfect. You don't have to complain about Asuka and Io and Kairi talking too much or anything like that. They simpled down something. You know what I'm saying? And it not that I have a problem with it, because we got people all over the world watching this, so it's not like nobody understands what they're saying. It's just us. But the segment was just fine. I loved it.
Yeah, Robbie, what are your thoughts on the segment?
It's fine. It's just, setting that title match up with them. So, I mean, in the way that they're going, you kind of go, okay, are they going to put the straps on EO and Rhea? Just
Right.
because the way that all of this is panning out, the way it usually does, or are they going to throw a swerve, and you're going to see somebody come in and who your thoughts are who's hitting the ring during this match to have it disqualified.
Well, what I'm wondering is, are they going to interject Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss somehow and be having that 6-man tag for the belt? George?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Robbie.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll go after you. I'll wait my turn.
I got it. No, so I mean that's the seed they planted with the chaos when Liv Morgan came back, and then all of a sudden Raquel's going after the belt instead of Liv, and you forget about, hey, what about the tag belts? We just had all the tag teams on Raw fighting with the Kabuki Wars and whoever. So now fast forward to the following week, and you got the same, the rivalry still brewing between what I think they call themselves Rio and the Kabuki Warriors. This is just the smokescreen. Hey, don't forget that Bayley and Lyra want the belts, and the Judgment Day want the belts. They're going to keep it focused on the main story. This is some of the stuff that Triple H was doing in the beginning that had people, it's like, all right, if this is where we're going with everything, like how they do title shots and stuff, whether it's a bunch of multi-person matches or not, it's like, let's just keep a story consistent where it's like, yeah, they're fighting for the belts, but the other teams already showed interest. So how is this going to play out?
Right. And I'll take a time out real quick, guys. You see, I am wearing this amazing t-shirt. Let me move the mic out of the way. It's Bob Cook shirt. Let me tell you, this is 100% cotton, and this t-shirt is so goddamn comfortable. It really is. It's not like a lot of shirts that is so thin, and the first time you wash it, you're basically getting a baby shirt back, right? This shirt is amazing. And look, Bob Cook is not with us. As everyone knows, Bob Cook suffered a heart attack a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. He is out mending, trying to take care of himself. But look, these things are expensive. When you have a heart attack, hospital bills are tremendously expensive, even if you do have insurance. Bob Cook spent many years putting his body on the line to entertain other professional wrestling fans. So you all do me a favor. Go to protees.com.
ProWrestlingTees.com. Go to Bob Cook's store and buy that shirt.
Absolutely. It's inexpensive. It's great. It's Christmas time, guys. So if you're looking for that last Christmas gift, go now. Order it. Support Bob Cook. We'd really appreciate it. Next, we go to a match this is another match that I was disappointed in. But again, I have to add that I think I was disappointed because I set the bar too high and the expectations was too high. So in reality, I kind of disappointed myself. And we're talking about the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, Maxine Dupree against Ivy Niles. Now, look, the reason why that bar was set so high for myself was because those incredible vignettes that I absolutely loved of Maxine Dupree training in the dungeon, the Heart Dungeon, by Natty, and we seen her just whipping ass. We seen her, and I want more. Give me more. She wanted more pain. She wanted to inflict more pain. So I was excited for this match. I'm thinking we're going to see a new Maxine Dupree. I didn't think it'd be a squash match, but at the same time, I thought she'd come in and just dominate. And that's not what happened. Was she a little bit more aggressive? She was. Was there a little bit of a different side to her? There was, but not enough because of those vignettes. She did retain the championship. It wasn't a bad match, but as I said about the Usos match, it wasn't great either. It was just good. Robbie, let's start with you. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah. I'm gonna go back though because you didn't ask me about the tag team thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So I want to put my 2 cents in. So you're saying about Charlotte and
Yeah.
Alexa and stuff. I don't see them or like Bailey or Lyra because they're the babies. So the people I would see trying to interfere in this match will be Liv and Roxanne or Lance and Nia there. So, or Nia. So I can see them, you know, interfering and doing that to set up, you know, how they're going to interject all these people. So on the match, I wish Ivy'd go back to the braids. It's hard to get used to her with that, with her hair like that. So it's like two different people there, you know. It's like, wow, you had a look, but I give her credit. The girl's jacked. She definitely is jacked. It was a good match. I mean, I guess I didn't have an expectation for it, so you know, I can't say I was disappointed or anything. It was a good match. I thought they did well.
Right. George, when they were playing these vignettes for the past couple of weeks, there wasn't a part of you that's like, holy shit, we're going to get a side of Maxine Dupree that we've never seen before. She's going to come back, and her first few matches just absolutely fucking dominate. And then we got what we got last night. And again, I'm not saying I agree. It was a good match. I was just expecting something else. And I'll put that on myself, right? 100%. But at the same time, those vignettes made me believe it. George?
So I guess we have three different opinions here because I agree with Robbie. I agree with you. I understand your point of view. Here's where I disagree with both of you. So if we do the more dominant Maxine, what are we, you know, playing up the new Natalya for? Like, we're going to have two people with the same gimmick? I'm not saying that Maxine should totally ditch the goofiness. I can understand being more aggressive and more assertive, but, you know, that would kind of be making two of the same people. Like, you'd have American Alpha or Alpha Academy and all of that and American Made all over again if everybody becomes these tough, like, shooters. So that's where I can believe her not having the Ken Shamrock-esque, you know, come out there and beat Ivy's ass. So only disagreement with Robbie. I did have some type of expectation for this match because I believe they wrestled before, and of course it was like a total squash because Maxine couldn't wrestle type of deal. But it was just I liked the match. I was more just seeing if Maxine got better. I'm still in that mode. It's like, is she getting better or was she holding back? Some of the stuff she did was really cool. And then like some of the slip ups that happened is like, I don't think that was planned. That was her, like, you know, the timing was off, maybe going too fast at some points, and Ivy trying to keep up with her. Of course, she had the height difference that they always have to deal with because Maxine's like really tall, and Ivy's, you know, it's like Rey Mysterio and Batista in that sense of height issue. The smaller person has to make the taller look better sometimes, and there's a miscommunication sometimes. Coolest part of that match was how she got out of that Dragon Sleeper when she did the head scissors from the Dragon Sleeper. Love that part. But then when they got to the ropes and all of that stuff, that's where it got a little wonky. They recovered. I like the match other than that. I wouldn't give it match of the night or anything, but Maxine still looks like she's getting comfortable. So to come out with that whole gimmick of dominating, she's got to get comfortable wrestling. Like, I think she's still in that learning mode.
Yeah, and I want talk about Natalya and the new Natalya. First off, Mr. Strong, it's Natty. Okay, that's her different character. It's Natty. Words matter. Now,
Anvil, hey, Anvil's daughter. Is that better?
Now, as far as you said, you had the two same, characters. You wouldn't necessarily have the two same characters, but you know what? I tell you what, I think that would make it a great storyline. That here you have Natty, who trained Maxine Dupree, who created this new Maxine Dupree, this more killer, this more aggressive Maxine Dupree that, kind of did mirror Natty because Natty did train her, but here they are now, they're both having problems with one another, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that would be a cool storyline. I do want to give props to the referee. I can't remember his name last night, but apparently Maxine Dupree had a wardrobe malfunction that he was able to catch right away and was able to position himself to block the camera until Maxine was able to fix it. So props to that referee for knowing what to do, being a professional.
Superficial, dumb referee, dumb referee. No, Kevin, no. Absolutely not. We do not praise that type of behavior in referee
What's
school.
wrong? We are still even if we're on Netflix. PG era, man.
I know. Hey, I missed that part, and I saw it in multiple group chats. So I was like, I missed it. I don't know. I didn't even see the referee position. Like, I missed the whole wardrobe malfunction. But hey, if the screen didn't go black and everybody saw it, then good job, production.
He's projecting his inner Bob Cook there. So,
The problem is George Strong's inner Bob Cook is young. George Strong, if Bob Cook would have seen that mouth, that wardrobe malfunction, the man just had a heart attack.
He'd had another one.
Next, we go to you guys are going to absolutely disagree with me, but I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like. Javon Evans, Los Americanos segment. Javon Evans talked with Adam Pearce before being interrupted by Los Americanos, El Grande Americano, Rayo, and Bravo, complaining about not being on the Saturday Night's Main Event card. Pearce booked Evans versus Rayo for next week. Now, the positives about this, I laughed my ass off when El Grande Americano was speaking Spanish because he's not Spanish and he's from where that remind me again who's playing El Grande Americano.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kaiser. So, and the thing is that he could have passed for a lucha because his Spanish was great. I thought that was wonderful. What I didn't like, guys, I'm sorry, I am not a Javon Evans fan. I think, and this is just for myself, not speaking for anybody else. For me, he come across as too silly during his promos. I hate his entrance, the way he comes out. And I'm curious to see. Now, I am curious about this match because thus far, since he's been on the main roster and during Saturday Night's Main Event, Javon Evans, and we've talked about this, Robbie, has not performed to his potential the way I've seen him perform on NXT. He looks like a different Javon Evans in the ring. I don't know, as I've said, is it because he's not comfortable with the guys in the main roster yet? Like he's comfortable with the guys at NXT? I don't know, but he's not the same Javon Evans on NXT. Robbie, or George, let's start with you, George. We'll go to you next, Robbie.
So I had zero problem with the match Saturday night because, I mean, they were the lightning rod for the night. All the matches were, for me, for Saturday night's main event, and I know we glanced over it. My personal opinion, I love probably the best Saturday night's main event since they brought it back. Like, no matter what's happened on the different shows, that was probably the best one.
George, let me interrupt you real quick, because I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that he's bad in the ring, even
right. No, I get what you're saying. I get
compared to NXT, he's just not performing at that level, in my opinion. Go ahead.
So what I've gathered is that his character is pretty much him, like, but he's 21. You know what I'm saying? They're like, be yourself and have fun. That's what he's going to be for right now. But they also said he's actually, you know, as far as the wrestling intellect, he's got most of it down. Obviously, the main roster is different from NXT and TNA, but he's going to get there eventually. I mean, we've seen wrestlers grow into something. I mean, I thought Grayson Waller would be a person since they called him up so fast, but obviously that didn't amount to much. Not saying he's not a good personality. It's the putting on the big time match. They haven't put him in that position yet, and that's probably for a reason. Javon Evans, they're very high on. I also think it's the transition. Like, you know, if they tell him, hey, you got to slow down at some point, he's got to learn how to slow down. No, he can do He did the match with Gunther just fine, and like we both agreed that wasn't his best match, that wasn't his best work, but we got a match. We didn't get like sloppy this, sloppy that. It was like a few things here or there that could have been different. His transition to the main roster is probably just slowing down because of his style and him being so tall. Like, he's not a short dude. Like, he's the same height as Randy Orton. He's doing all these high flying and, springboards and stuff like that, and still able to hang with guys his size or a little bit bigger than him, I guess you could say. So it's probably a lot of things that he's got to get with that right person, because they've also had him wrestling on AAA. So it's like, there's no slowing down when you're doing Lucha Libre. And it's not that much different from the style he does. And obviously wrestling Kaiser is Americano and other guys and stuff like that. They put him in position to keep the style he's had on NXT. It's going to be different when he gets to Raw, or if he goes to SmackDown, wherever they put him. I think that's the main thing. It's just he's got to get the mechanics right so he can do those long matches, and his career can last as long as a Rey Mysterio or somebody like that can do the 51 and still doing all the moves he was doing, for the most part. He's just got to get that right transition.
Yeah, and I was listening to you when you speak. I was trying to look for Triple H. Came out and said, what was Javon Evans' partner's name? It escapes right now.
Leon Slater.
Leon Slater.
Yeah.
So Triple H recently addressed things about Javon Evans and Slater, saying that no, they may not be great cutting promos right now, but when you have the athleticism that these guys do, it makes up for whatever they're lacking. And I'm paraphrasing, basically when it comes to cutting promos. He went on to say that you've had a lot of great legends who carry belts, who became legends because of their athleticism, even though they weren't the greatest with promos. And this is for, Robbie, I want you to address what I said about Javon Evans backstage in this segment, and then address, do you guys agree with what Triple H is saying? Or are we living during a time with professional wrestling that fans expect the talent to be excellent at both in order for the fans to truly get behind them? Address the segment from last night, and then what Triple H said, and then George, will go back to you.
I didn't think his segment was that bad. I mean, you got, like George said, and I said this before, he's 21. So, is he nervous being up there on the main roster? Okay, I don't want to screw up because this is my shot that I'm getting here. So there's a lot, okay, same like he doesn't know that main roster. Being 21, and saying, okay, I have, if everything falls in place, I have a long career ahead of me. Or here's my shot that I'm getting brought up to the main roster, and I don't want to screw up, and, instead of being himself and stuff like that. So there's factors in that, so, but I also, trying to, like, when you were saying people that have had belts and couldn't, fans may expect it. There's guys that just don't cut great promos. If you go back and as far as certain guys with promos, one of the guys that, was one of the great wrestlers and stuff, but Chief Wahoo McDaniel wasn't a great promo guy. You throw him against like a Flair or Dusty Rhodes or somebody. He didn't have that. I'll give you prime example also. Jack Briscoe wasn't a great promo guy, great wrestler. He carried the belt. Sound wise, technicality and stuff, Jack Briscoe was one of the greatest, but wasn't one of the great promo guys. So there's just some people that can cut promos. It comes natural, and other guys that it's not in their bag, but they have all the other talent and factors that go with it. They're just not great on the mic.
Right, but do you think? And we'll come to you in a second, George. But do you think though that it is the fans that are responsible for deciding who's going to become great ultimately? Because if the guy can sell tickets and put asses in seats, right? So do you think, though, that we're at a time in professional wrestling that today's professional wrestling fans?
Because here's your prime example. I didn't mean to cut you off, KG. Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a great promo guy, and he puts asses in the seat. You know, I mean, and look at when they had Paul Heyman with them and Heyman was his mouthpiece. So, I mean, if, you know, Brock can cut a promo, but he's not great at it. So, you know, and he puts asses in the seat. So, yes, I mean, you know, there's guys, I mean, there's guys that will, you know, and I mean, all the guys I mentioned that, you know, from like before my era, but when I watched as a kid, Jack Briscoe was one of the biggest draws down here. He was a favorite in Florida, you know? So
yeah, true. Before we get to you, George, Miss Granny Hulkster says, hello, everyone. Granny Hulkster is watching. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. I'm very humbled when, you know, people who are big wrestling fans like Granny Hulkster stops by to say hello. I really am. And you know, Brandon Benny said
what I just said.
That's their head Paul. Yeah, that's true. What about you, George?
Thank you for agreeing with me there.
What about you, George? What do you think about what Triple H said, and do you agree with him?
I 100% agree, because I mean, we can't have everybody do both, but there are fans. I mean, I know we talked about that one fan, but it's like there are people that think all wrestlers have to cut promos like MJF or Adam Cole or John Cena or whoever. Like, everybody has to be able to like shut you down on the mic and be able to wrestle, and that's not the case. I mean, I'm just thinking of how, like, just one person I thought of when you said that about who wasn't great on the mic. Now, here's the thing. Here's the catch-22. He's great now, but Roman Reigns could not talk on the mic.
Right.
Yeah, he went to acting school, whatever he had to do, and you know, the tribal chief is the rest is history. It's like he couldn't cut a great promo before he was the tribal chief. Like, and that was saying a lot, because you know, he was doing all this stuff with the Shield and after the Shield, and he was the main guy, and it just wasn't happening. I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers in the 80s and 90s that benefited from having a manager, whether they were champion or not, but they were great wrestlers. But back in the era when we could have managers, we had Paulie and Jim Cornette and Gary Hart and all of these guys, and not Ron Simmons, Teddy Long. You know, you had those guys that could talk for all these big men and stuff. The Undertaker wasn't great, but I mean, he was a talker. We found out he was a talker eventually, but like all of that, it's like, and I think that's just everybody's like expectation all the time. It's like, oh yeah, they gotta, you know, if they can't figure out what to say, they gotta be like the Ultimate Warrior or Macho Man. I was like, they had an advantage. They had an enhancement. I don't even think they were knowing what they were saying sometimes, but I mean, it was still great promos. Now we can go back and watch them and laugh and be like, I know I said that. But no, it's too much of that, man. It's like nobody. That's more of the stuff nowadays where it's like nobody can be one thing or the other or be like 2 out of 3. Everybody has to be all 3 or all 4, whatever the factors are to make you a great wrestler. You got to be good in the ring. You got to be good on the mic. You got to be good with people. You got to it's life don't work that way, even in wrestling. Like, some people are really good at stuff. Like, that's why I look at myself. It's like I could probably wrestle a basic match, probably better on the mic, but I'm a small guy. We have Napoleon complex. We like talking trash to people because we might get beat up. You know what I'm saying? I make a great ref, and I get one moment every year, 1 or 2 moments where I get to wrestle or, you know, mix it up with the guys. It's like, I wish I could cut a promo to make this better, but it's going to be what it is, and I'm going to win whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. The Granny Hulkster said that she's a huge wrestling fan, have been for years. Absolutely. Going back to Brandon, he said Roman couldn't cut a promo to save his life. The Steiner math promo, and we're going to actually get to Steiner here in a second.
I got one more for you.
Go ahead.
And this will show, and he had a mouthpiece, and great. He was a great wrestler, and rest in peace. And nothing, I mean, loved the guy, personally loved him, great guy, was Bobby Eaton. You know, but no, as far he was one of the greatest workers ever. He had Cornette.
Right.
You know?
And this expectation, and you're right, George, for having a professional wrestler that is just great at everything. Well, the fact of the matter is you're right, that's not life. And when you do find those special guys that are great at everything, well, this is why we have those professional wrestlers that become the absolute greats, like The Rock, because it's special, because it is such a rarity. But here's the thing, you're talking about managers, and you're right. Back in the 80s, some of the 90s, you had wrestling managers that are able to talk for their guys who were great in the ring, but couldn't get promos. And then we've seen wrestling managers kind of fade away. Do you think that professional wrestling needs to bring back those managers like we had in the past? Sure, we have one or two. We have Paul Heyman. We have your guys on AEW as well who are managers, but we truly don't have a lot of managers like we used to in the past. Robbie, do you think that we need to bring back managers in professional wrestling?
If you get the right ones, like I said, I'm not a fan of Don Callis, but like they're throwing half the roster in his family and stuff like that. Right. So that's like overkill with that. If you like from my era, and you even go back and like Gary Hart. Gary Hart was good. Cornette was, he was great. Bobby Heenan. If you could get guys like that, that'd be cool, because they were entertaining. They knew how to speak for, their team or person, whatever. If you could find those guys, that'd be great. Some of those, they're just not pulling those guys out, because you look, like I said, Don Callis, it's basically the same old now. Let's, I'm trying to get half the roster from AEW and stuff like that. I'm trying to think who else. He's okay. Stokely, he's okay. They just, I guess maybe he's found his fit with FTR, where they've stuck him with a couple other people. Trying to think who else is there. Paulie's Paulie, but he's a good mouthpiece.
Yeah. Granny Holster said, and I can talk some pretty good smack to the bad guys. If you can. Brandon to this question says, in this era, yes and no. He's also going to say, at what point did managers really start dying off? That's a good question. But George, let's get to the first question. Do you think that there is a disjustice in professional wrestling happening with them not having the managers like we used to do?
Absolutely. I think so. It's in a sense, and not, and piggybacking off of what Robbie said, we don't need a stable full of the heels on like every show in one group. We just need managers. It's a thing like the Heenan family, like back in that early WCW days with Paul Heyman and stuff like that. You had managers with different groups, like how AEW kind of mimics the wrestling dojo style of New Japan with all these different groups. WWE can benefit from that since they have more talent, if not the same amount of talent. I don't know. I don't look at the numbers of how many people are actually there, but it's like you can build groups with managers. That way the faces have somebody to fight, not just, the rotation of, and it even goes back to enhancement talent. It sounds 80s-ish and cartoonish, but have a heel with a faction that a good guy he can beat up those guys while he's trying to get somebody else or something like that. It's like one of those things. You can use that for multiple reasons. The manager can be the mouthpiece. Similar to them putting Cesaro with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel. It was like they couldn't do great promos. They weren't bad. Cesaro, Vince McMahon had to think about people with heavy accents and stuff like that.
Right.
But putting them with Paul Heyman so they can have somebody to talk for them. It's just stuff like that. Zelina Vega being with Andrade back when he was in NXT, and they kind of had him on the main roster. Just stuff like that. It benefits the people. No doubt. Like even a Shinsuke, if they wanted to make him a heel and put him with Paul Heyman, that would have been perfect. He might be older than a Vision, but it's like if he's not cutting promos unless they're in Japanese, if you need somebody to make him sound like he's devastating, that would have been perfect. But, you know, the vision came up and Paul Heyman jumping from superstar to superstar before that happened really didn't have space for that. But that's all. It benefits certain wrestlers that can't or don't do great promos.
Yeah. Brandon says Prince Nana. I like Prince Nana. Next, we go to something I've been waiting for since CM Punk has been back with WWE because I think I said this in the last podcast. CM Punk has not cut that magical promo since he's been back with WWE. We've had some good promos, but not just that holy shit or just that, you know, oh shit, that was funny. For myself, this happened last night with CM Punk's promo. He cut a promo. He made fun of Brian Breaker's intelligence, referencing Steiner math, referencing both Rick and Scott Steiner. It was great. I loved it. I laughed. And there's a little part of my brain that got excited that said, are we going to see Scott or Rick or both maybe have a one-off on January 5th because of Breaker going for the title? Are we going to see this? I would love it. Robbie, talk to me about this, man.
Okay, you know, again, I'm not a CM Punk fan, but I thought it was a great promo. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great. You know, everything he did, and I mean, just picking on Rick and Scott. So you figure they're going to be there January 5th.
Right, because how often does WWE allow their guys to mention names if we're not going to see those guys? Very rarely. Sorry to interrupt you, but I had to throw it in.
Look, that's okay. I've interrupted you all night. So, but yeah, so you know, they're probably going to be there. But the whole promo he cut was great, you know, from start to finish. You know, like, you know, keep my wife out of your mouth, you know, I'll poke your eyes out, piss down your eyes. And, you know, I mean, that was great. You know, and in the way he did it, the way he came across, it was perfect. You know, it was just, you know, him picking on Scott and Rick, just the whole thing. I mean, I was like, wow, that, like you said, it was that oh shit moment. It was like, wow, this is really great. If you cut more promos like this, I could get behind you.
Right. I think this is the closest we've gotten to that. Was 2013, 2011, whatever they were saying, CM Punk.
The pipe bomb, yeah.
Yeah.
2011 Punk.
Pipe bomb, just his own attitude. He wasn't full of smiles. Look, the last great CM Punk that I heard says he's been back in professional wrestling was against MJF at AEW, right? That was fire.
Right.
And then he got back to WWE. And look, he's great on the mic. He's one of the best. He really is. But we didn't get the fire that we normally feel with CM Punk. Last night we did. George Strong, what say you?
So I'm going to go as far as to say his best promo was when he came back after Survivor Series, because, you know, you still had that intrigue of like, is he really happy to be back? Is he, you know, the same old, same old? There's a thin line with CM Punk because he knows how to play the game with the promos and stuff. Other than that, maybe the only one that stands out to me is the Thugonomics one when he dedicated to, because they traded promos and whatnot, but there was nothing jumping off the charts either. I agree. Last night was absolutely great. That was my favorite one. Poking your eyes up and pissing down your eye sockets. Love it. I was like, when you said it, I was like, oh, okay. It's just, you could, like Robbie said, like you said, you could feel the attitude in the promo. Like, you could feel it. Like, it was like when Braun made 2 promos to CM Punk, it was like for me, it was like a rap battle. It's like, all right, he came out with 2 good ones. What you got? You know, you're just sitting back waiting to think up or write up whatever, you know, do your little bullet points so you can come out and say some great stuff, but you better come with it. And he did. Like, I love Braun Breaker talking about, you know, he sounded like Scott Steiner. He said, hey, after I take your title, I'll probably take your wife too. I was like, if CM Punk doesn't come back at that line alone, like, he didn't even have to do anything else in the promo. Just make it about his wife and be like, hey, man. But it was perfect. I loved it.
Yeah, Brandon says that I think it was great too, but the Gunther promo was nuclear. When he said, I made John Cena tap out like a bitch. Brandon, I agree with you at the beginning of the podcast when he talked about it. I tell you, I loved it. I love Gunther. Next we go, the Judgment Day backstage segment. Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez discussed their goals. It was revealed that JD McDonough was injured. By the way, guys, that is legit. He's actually having surgery. He may have had surgery, so positive thoughts going out to him. And Finn Balor was with him. Rodriguez declined Morgan's offer to be in her corner, insisting she could beat Stephanie Vaquer alone. Look, I know that it feels like someone's going to turn, but they've been teasing this for so long now that it's gotten to the point that, frankly, I don't give a fuck. And I'm just being honest with you. Right? I like long storylines, but there's the limit. There's absolutely a limit. George, come on, man. What's this making you jump up and down and scream, yes?
I didn't get that vibe from that. I think if anything, I see Raquel breaking away from the group. Like, we've had these talks about turning on Finn or some kind of way getting Finn behind. So I could just as easily see Raquel getting a singles run. Because, she's that little group of ladies from NXT. It's like you got Bianca, you got Rhea, you got Io, all of them coming out and they're like on top of their game. And Raquel had her setbacks, and she just never was quite the woman like the other three were. So it's like it's about time she get one, even if it's at the expense of Liv or Roxanne or whoever. But I don't know with the Judgment Day. It's not that I don't care. It's just like it's one of those back of your mind things. Is somebody going to turn yet? But then also people keep getting hurt. So
right.
Injuries always set back storylines just as much as storylines set back storylines. So it's like I don't see anything happening right now. Like I said, it'd be nice to not have groups break up all the time and just tease it. Because, tag teams, just the example of Saturday Night's Main Event in NXT, Sol Ruka and Zarya were on the verge of beating the crap out of each other for a belt that wasn't even Zarya's. And it's like now they're like back best friends. They made up on the show right before Saturday Night's Main Event. So if she turns on her now, it'd be a total shock. It'd be a Ciampa Gargano moment because they made them look like best friends for almost 2 years now. So
yep.
It's the same thing with Judgment Day. It's like they can be a family that fights, but they're still the strongest faction on the main roster right now. So it's like, why break them up other than putting out people that need to get a singles push?
Right. And they can still do that too.
Yeah, they still could.
Yeah. Robbie, your thoughts on this, man?
Hard to say. I think Raquel had her run, I really don't see her getting another big push, even though she's bigger and stuff. It just, I don't know. She just kind of, I think she's had her run. Like you talk about Bayley maybe going to AEW. Maybe she needs to go to AEW with Bayley or something, to repackage her or whatever.
Right. And so those who are listening, so you're confused about what you talk about AEW. What I was talking about with Bayley was, I think it's time for Bayley to not just be taken off of TV, but to leave WWE. So many times when we see these guys that it's like their lights going out with WWE, that they've done everything they could do and they have a problem with recreating a character. A lot of times when those guys leave and go back to the Indies or even go back to AEW and they're doing something fresh, they get over again. When they come back to WWE, they're hot again, right? Because they're fresh. And I believe that needs to happen with Bayley. And I agree about Rodriguez as well, because next we go to that world's title, the women's world title match. And the fans didn't give a fuck about this. And I don't think it was because of Stephanie. I think it's because of, it's Raquel Rodriguez. Now, I'm going to be honest. I hate this whole Nikki Bella thing. And this is why. No. Let me tell you why. I am a traditional professional wrestling fan for the most part. I believe in your baby faces and your heels. WWE usually do too. But right now we have Nikki Bella attacking Raquel. Raquel attacking Nikki Bella. They're both attacking Stephanie Vacquier. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it at all whatsoever. I'm not invested in Raquel. I'm not invested in Nikki Bella. And I actually, be honest with you guys, I'm not even invested in Stephanie Vacquier as well. I just didn't care whatsoever about this match. But that's exactly what happened. Nikki Bella attacked. She's the one that walked away looking strong. She made me laugh last night because a fan said something to her, and she basically told him to shut the fuck up. I don't know what it made me laugh. But yeah, I was just like, about this. Go ahead, George.
Of course, you go to the person that doesn't like Nikki as much as you. See, I got scolded. I got scolded when I was like, oh, well, I appreciate that Nikki's back putting the younger. They're putting her in a storyline to be the main attraction of the story. She's going to, I feel like she's going to win the belt. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, you got too many people back there. And that's why I brought up Raquel getting some type of push. It's like this exact moment. I'm like, I don't mind older wrestlers or nostalgia and all of that getting their way and being something in the current era. That's fine. And I'll be honest, I don't care if she wins the belt as long as they build up whoever takes it off. But I just don't need her in this rivalry. If they're going to make Raquel a focal point for Stephanie to fight, and which, by the way, the match was not bad, but the match was not I guess the best way to put it, not exciting, because you could see him trying. You could see him trying to make Raquel look like the big dog in the match and all of this. And the crowd responded to very little. It's like she nearly had to take Stephanie's head off to even get a reaction. And it's like, that sucks. But at the same time, not only do you do that, then you come out with Nikki interrupting the match. That makes it 10 times worse. And that makes all three of them look bad because there was little to no response to her coming off. And It's just like, I'm like, why are we right here? Like, they could have built Nikki up better. Like, attack Stephanie, have her win some matches or something. Let's not go to traditional, let's keep attacking a champion to get another title shot. Like, especially with somebody that's been there, just have her trying to prove a point. Like, I still got it. I deserve to be on the top. I'm the top diva ever. Like, whatever they have to do. But like,
and you bring up a point, and this is something that I've been scratching my head about. Besides Nikki Bella turning on Stephanie, and that's why she got pushed, in here. If we go back and watch her matches since she's been back, she ain't been winning shit. She's been fucking losing, and now all of a sudden she's interjected into title matches for the world title. It doesn't make sense. I get it. Well, was she attacked Stephanie? Who gives a fuck? Does it mean that she deserves a world title?
No.
Robbie?
A bit.
What? Sorry.
Yeah. So, halfway through the match, I was like, okay, how are they going to end this? And that's when I went, Nikki Bella's coming out. Right. Because they're not gonna have Raquel go over her, and they're not gonna have Stephanie go. They're just keeping them neutral. And of course, here comes Nikki Bella a little bit later towards the end of the match. I guess I get why they're doing it, but the crowd really didn't respond that much. So I mean, that's pretty bad. I mean, I'm not a Nikki Bella fan. I'm not a Raquel fan. I like Stephanie. I think she's like one of their top dogs. I think she can work. She can go. We talked about it when they stuck her with Bella, and Nikki did okay, but I don't think she could hang with her on a regular basis. I mean, and it's nothing against Nikki. It's just, she's younger and Nikki's, kind of up there in age, and it's a whole different style than what Nikki's used to with Stephanie.
Right. And look, there was some fan noise during all of this, but this what the fan noise was. Hey, we got time before the next match. You want some popcorn? Give me some more popcorn.
Little Jimmy has to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. Next we go to Rhea Ripley.
No, I was about to say that's just I feel bad because it's like Robbie said, it's like Stephanie's to the top. It's like they're trying to make Stephanie get like Nikki over more. And it's like she's clearly lost the steps since leaving wrestling, and she's getting older, so she can't keep up with somebody like I know she's not half her age, but it's damn near. She can't keep up with somebody like Stephanie who's coming off of AAA and all of that stuff, and it's just like she can wrestle with everybody on the roster but Nikki Bella. Nikki had no business being in the title picture.
So here's a question for both of you guys. Start with you, George, and we'll go to Robbie.
Yeah.
Since Nikki Bella has been back, at least from my perception, what I'm perceiving, that she's not been over with the fans at all. Since she's been back. Do you guys think it's because of the era that she's coming from, and the fans are like, "You don't belong to these women"? Because I mean, let's just be completely honest. The women's division now is about hard hitting. It is professional wrestling at its finest, right? Versus the era that Bella came from. Yes, these women were trailblazers, and they did create a path for the women now, but still they were used more as trophies, as the sexual appeal versus what's happening now in the women's division. So because of that, do you think that some of the fans are kind of rejecting Nikki Bella because of that?
Yes, because she came up in an era that wasn't about wrestling. And that's not to say she can't wrestle. I know she's had some, not a bunch of good matches, but also the other problem with where's Bree? And I know that's a whole contractual thing or something they got going on or whatever. But I think everybody wants both Bella twins more than they want one. And if Bree would have showed up, the Daniel Bryan marks would have been like, hell yeah. But it's like, in essence, they want both Bellas. We don't want one. You can't do all the old shenanigans and the nostalgia with just one. Not that, again, not that Nikki's terrible. My thing is just why is, and I'm probably in that boat of fans, is like, why is Nikki Bella so important in the era where they're pushing professional wrestling in the women's division? Like it's plenty of sports entertainment to go around in WWE, but there's like literally an emphasis on how good our wrestling division is in all the companies, like between TNA, AEW, and I'm sure, NWA as well. I forget they have like some of the women are all over the place too because they get to wrestle everywhere. But like in this era of wrestling, it's more about showing that the women are more wrestlers than just looks, and a lot of them look good, whether it's makeup tricks or whatever. But it's like it's a little bit of everything now compared to the Divas, where it was just about looking good, maybe wrestling. And then in the older days where they look good, they could wrestle depending on that time. But you know what I'm saying? It's like it just for Nikki, it just doesn't fit without Brie, and that's my thing. It's like I can get behind them pushing her again because she's back, because they did the same thing with Lita and Trish. However, Lita and Trish are heralded because of their wrestling, not just because of their looks. And Nikki was mostly the looks, and Brie was the wrestler. To me, I don't know if it was different for anybody else, but it's like the one that wasn't a great wrestler came back. And that's great and all, so you put her in a serious program with the champion who's known for being a good wrestler.
Right. Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with George on that part. Is like maybe because if they'd have brought Brie back, but remember when she did come back, a lot of mistakes she made. I mean, and I don't know if it was just ring rust or whatever. So you, in a way, I'm glad they didn't bring her back, because I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I mean, what was bad was they just started calling her Botch Bella, so.
Yeah, when she dived through the ropes and hit her head on the side of the ring or something like that, I forgot.
Or missed somebody or whatever. So
yeah,
I mean, I was glad they didn't bring her back. But I mean, and like I said, again, Nikki came from a different area, like you said, where they were trophies. They were to look good. Now they look good and can wrestle and stuff, and it's a totally different style than I think what Nikki is used to. If you look at the stuff that they're doing, so you're putting her with Stephanie, and Stephanie can do stuff that she's probably not used to seeing anybody. I mean, other than say if she and I don't remember her working. If she did, I don't remember have her work very often. I mean, the closest you could have put in that would have been Lita, you know, as far as that. And I mean, the rest of the girls didn't do a lot of that stuff off the ropes, except for Lita did. So Lita is the closest what you have to today's women, you know. So Nikki, I don't think is used to that, and it's, you know, not anything against her. It's just that it's a whole different style.
Right. And to your point, I mean, this is why when you have your Litas or your Trish make those appearances or come back for a little bit, they do get a very different reception than what Bella did. And I think it's because of that, because people can believe that, okay, well, these women were the trailblazers that was whipping ass back then, so they can, you know, at least try to keep up. It wouldn't be such, it would be more believable to have a Lita or a Trish pin Stephanie Valkyra versus a Bella, right? So next, Rhea Ripley, backstage promo, basically demanding a match. And Pierce books her to go against Asuka. Next. I want to say Asuka. Yeah.
Or as Wade Barrett says, Asuka.
Then and Pierce made that officials. Various backstage interviews followed. Nikki Bella claiming the other women were beneath her, and Bayley and Lyra Vaquera having a tense interaction. CM Punk assuring Rey Mysterio that he would watch his back during the main event. Look, I want to talk a little bit about Bayley and Lyra, that interaction. I didn't want to walk away from it. It was just, to me, that showed me that WWE creative just doesn't fucking know what they want to do with Bayley.
Yeah.
Like, really. It was like they're grasping for something. George.
No, I'll defer. I'm good. I don't.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Hey, you can't be down the middle on this one, George. You got to put your opinion.
No, man.
Somebody creative is out in Louisiana at his shows. That's why he's not getting in this one.
Oh, man.
But no, you totally, because they don't know, like, okay, are we going to do the happy Bayley? Are we doing the ding dong Bayley? Are we doing this Bayley? They just, you know, I mean, they change it week to week, you know, come on, you know, pick one, go with it. Let's go, you know, and just go back, you know?
Right. I mean, and in no way, shape, or form for people who are watching this podcast, am I shitting on Bayley at all? I am not saying that she's bad in the ring. I'm not saying she's not talented, because she is. But I think she is stuck in this black hole of creative that they just don't know what the fuck to do with her. George, do you want to interject?
Look, I agree on that point, because we've had this talk. It's just I did laugh at the segment because it was funny to me, but it's just like, man, it's like we're still doing the split person. I thought we were back to, like, you know, just Bayley being Bayley. Like, she's not the hugger. She's done the stupid idiot thing. She's a baby face. Nope. She's still aggressive and, like, snaps every time Lyra gets her fired up. And it's like, I feel like we did this with somebody before, and it wasn't Bayley, but it's like, I'm like you. It's not even about the repressing. Like, just pick a Bayley, stick with it, and have them go after the tag belts. I mean, we've grown to accept that Lyra and Bayley are stuck to the hip regardless if they're fighting or tag teaming. We're okay with it now. We've finally gotten over it. Now we're stuck with Bayley trying to reinvent the wheel or trying to do something different to stay relevant. And it's like, all you really have to do, Bayley, is stay yourself. How you got popular and got your WWE title at WrestleMania or wherever she wanted to go. It's right. Like that Bayley that got kicked out of Damage Control. We were good right there.
Right.
And I get it. It's stale. It's boring. It's just Bayley being Bayley. She can keep the ding dong idiot stuff in there and still be a face and talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you can do a lot of stuff you did as a heel, as a baby face. It's just about presentation, and people will accept it because it's Bayley. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like we talk about Becky Lynch. This new persona for Becky Lynch might not be working for us, but it works for her because she's trying to stay a heel. And somebody brought it to my attention, just an example. I know I'm jumping off a bit, but it's like Becky Lynch is tweeting like Trump used to do when he was passing his opinions on Twitter. And I agree with that. It's like, whatever makes you relevant as a character. If people are noticing it, stick with it. With Bayley, they just got to find something and stick with it. And that's just that simple.
Right. Yeah, agreed. Next, the main event, Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. Look, I was actually looking forward to this match because I like Logan Paul. Rey Mysterio,
what?
He's the GOAT.
What?
Fuck off.
You like Logan Paul? What are you doing?
I like Logan Paul.
You don't watch wrestling, do you?
Heel guy. I like Logan Paul. He's a guy that you just want to punch in the fucking face, right? I like Logan Paul.
You probably don't even know who the sheep herders are, and you like Logan Paul. That's your problem.
I don't know who the sheep herders are. You know what? I am not taking this shit no more. Oh, it was
who's Terry Funk anyway,
Logan Paul, he defeated Rey Mysterio, but the big thing that came out of this was the masked man that showed up. All the fuckery happened. Brian Breaker, he made sure that he was heard telling CM Punk after he speared CM Punk. Well, let me back up. CM Punk came to help Rey Mysterio because Logan Paul had the brass knucks. Brian Breaker winds up spearing CM Punk. He told CM Punk, you ever talk about my family again, it's going to get personal. During the CM Punk promo, he mentioned it about being personal if he brought up AJ Styles again. So now the family.
AJ Lee,
I'm sorry. AJ Lee, it is personal. But then again, the mask guy comes. And we knew that something was going down because after he did the stomp, it was CM Punk he stomped in the head, right?
No. He stumped Ray, and then he ran out after he had a stare down with Logan Paul, and then he went up the ramp and all that good stuff.
Normally he ran off right away. This time he had a stare down with Logan Paul. Michael Cole was even Logan Paul doesn't know what to make of this masked man. He ran into the crowd halfway up the stairs. He stopped, and I'll be goddamn, I was wrong. It wasn't Chris Benoit. It wasn't Becky Lynch. It wasn't MJF even. Nope. It was none other than Austin Theory. Robbie, did you lose your shit? Were you so excited? Fuck, it's awesome, It's awesome.
No. And you know what? What they should have done, they should have dragged this out a little bit. When he ran up the stairs, he should have just kept on going and just went out the building. I mean, that would have been better. I mean, basically the old shit moment would have been, had it been MJF, that would have been great.
No, the old shit moment would have been if it was freaking Chris Benoit.
I think the arena would have been cleared if it was him.
But just think though, if it was MJF it was, I mean, everybody would have lost their shit.
Oh yeah.
What they should have, what would have been cool, even if it was Seth Rollins, if Seth was there. But I honestly, when I saw him stop and stuff, I'm like, they're gonna do this. When he was going up the ramp, I was like, just keep going and just leave and drag this out some more. Might as well just drag it. Everybody's going and you're going. They're going to explain why Austin's going to put his point of view, but it wasn't. Even when I heard that, I'm like, why? Why is he part of this?
And look, I want to make something really clear. It's nothing against Austin Theory.
No, nothing.
I think that he is absolutely a future main eventer, in my opinion. But this is the thing. Right now, Austin Theory isn't that holy shit moment type of a guy, right? And not to mention, everybody and mom has been saying it was Austin Theory since the first time it happened. Now, the only thing that's worth me a little bit, I'm just being honest with you guys, when he was standing and doing the stare down with Logan Paul, I'm like, well, this ain't Austin Theory because this looks like a white boy. He looked like a white boy, and then he took it off, and oh shit, it's Austin Theory.
Like pale white, yeah.
Austin Theory is a lot whiter than I remember him being. He's like pale right now. Like what the fuck? But yeah, this just wasn't a holy shit moment. It really wasn't. I think it's between everyone knowing who it was from the get-go. And again, Austin Theory is definitely a future main eventer, in my opinion, but he's not there yet, and he's not ready to be put in that position of the oh shit moment. George.
I disagree. It wasn't I agree, but I disagree. It wasn't an oh shit moment. And my reason is the same thing you just said, because everybody knew who it was or everybody speculated. Here's my twist. He hasn't been on TV. They split him and Grayson Waller up. They were both wrestling on Main Event when they split them up, when nobody cares about Main Event. Not that people don't watch it because they put it on YouTube so people can see it now. Right. But the whole point of, and this is for Robbie, I know they'll storyline it, but the whole point of him being there is because he is one of the future stars. That's the whole point of the vision. Not everybody likes Bronson Reed. Well, for the most part, everybody loves Braun Breaker. The main thing about the vision is that everybody thought Seth Rollins didn't fit. It's like, well, why not? He had a group with Austin Theory, with whoever else back during the pandemic. He had a group. He's had a group multiple times. It's never been guys older than him. It's always been younger guys that Triple H or whoever wanted to put over. So, in a sense, without Seth Rollins, it can be Austin Theory, who was originally in the vision or whatever the old group was. So it kind of works. Oh shit moment, I don't think they were going with that other than when he helped them at Survivor Series. The other thing I was going to say is what would be a real twist if they still have the other masked man, because the rumor was that it was him and Montez Ford before they figured out who they wanted it to be. If they still have Montez Ford added to the group and he be the other masked man, be like, I thought this was over. And that gives us a way to get Montez Ford his singles run, regardless of if it's title push or not. Because that's the other thing that, one of the most charismatic guys on the roster is sitting in the back and catering with his tag team partner. And he could easily be a part of this group. It's the four guys that are the future of the company of some sort with Logan Paul, maybe jumping Logan Paul in the long run, giving you a babyface Logan Paul. But it's just a lot of stuff to unpack that they can go so many places. But even with Triple H running, I know creative for WWE, we were just talking about Bayley, they can mess this up severely.
Right. Yep. And you mentioned Montez Ford, and you guys may not agree with me, and I don't give a fuck, honestly. But I think
it's my show.
I think that Montez Ford, if given a singles run, if booked correctly, if creative does it correctly, I think Montez Ford is so talented. You want to talk about a guy that checks all the boxes, promos, check. In the ring, check. Charismatic, check. This guy could become one of the greatest WWE stars in the past 10 years, right? He really can, because he is so damn good. I would love to see this happen so Montez Ford could get his singles run. I really do, because I don't think we've even scratched the surface to seeing how talented this man is. Robbie?
Yeah, I mean, I could see him being a bigger star than Austin Theory. I disagree with you on Theory. I don't think Theory's that main event guy. But yeah, Montez Ford, kid's talented. I mean, his partner, we've seen some of his great moves. We won't go there, but
he is the Marty Jannetty.
Yes.
Yeah, when it comes to popularity, Angelo. But he did, I will say this, in defense of Angelo, he did step up when everybody was talking about him, regardless of what happened, any botches or anything he did. He definitely stepped up. When they let him do more, he definitely stepped up to the. I mean, you know, it is what it is. That Montez is just the better of the two, but Angelo definitely stepped up when it was time. He's regressed a lot, but I think we're just waiting for Montez to break free, and you know, they do what they do. They don't have to split up. They can just let him do something by himself.
Now, Michael Cole made the dumbest fucking statement last night.
You mean Testa? Because it was Testa and Wade Barrett.
Testa? Well, then
it was just Testator, yeah.
And it had to be Wade Barrett. One of them made the dumbest statement last night when they said, as Logan Paul did the frog splash, that is the highest frog splash anyone could do. Have you forgot about fucking Montez Ford's frog splash?
No. You know, I think he did say outside of I think he did say that. He said something about Montez Ford. I heard it too. Yes, no, I think he did. He absolutely did.
Before I heard the last part, I went, have you lost your fucking mind?
I'd have to watch it back, but I think he did say something about Montez Ford because I think he forgot. I think he forgot about it. He had to correct himself.
But yeah, you know, overall, you know, like I said, and I said this at the podcast, Monday Night Raw didn't hit it for me last night. I'll give it a B minus. Is overall what I would give it. Robbie,
I give it a B plus.
Okay.
Give it a B plus. Like I said, I liked it. Couple of things I could have done without, but you know, CM Punk's promo definitely was one of the highlights. Gunther, that was, you know, a highlight. I'm trying to, you know, it was enjoyable.
Right. The reason why I gave it a B minus and not anything lower, because again, it didn't hit it, is because I'm not going to punish their talent, you know, when I'm grading Raw overall, because they're good in the ring. It's nothing that they did specifically in the ring. It's just a matter of either I don't like what Crave is doing with them right now, or for whatever reason, I'm not invested in it, you know, in them right now for whatever reason. So that's why I give it a B minus and nothing lower, because like I'm not going to shit on the talent. You know, they're very talented men and women.
Well,
just not into it.
Right, but one thing that they could do, I mean, cut back some of the time on the promos and stuff. And we've talked about this, not a lot, but a little bit. All the talent you have, and there's guys you're just not using.
Right.
You have another, you know, give them 5 minutes or something, you know, because these 20-minute promos and stuff are just, I know you got a 3-hour show and you're trying to fill spots, but I'd rather see somebody I haven't seen in a while, at least give them 5 minutes to, you know, showcase them, you know?
Yeah. And look, you know, George, we'll get to you with your overall grade. Let's not forget, starting in January, SmackDown, 3 hours. You know, I hope they take some of the talent that they're not using and bring them to SmackDown to highlight them for the love of God. George, go ahead, man.
What was the point of making the 2 hours, man? Like, what was the point? We complained about it. Triple H don't like booking 3-hour shows, and here we are. Money's more important, I guess.
No, I think I give it a network. I think the network says I want it to be 3 hours for whatever reason. You know, because Triple H has said he thinks the perfect wrestling show is 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's been a good show or not, he's proven that on Raw with Netflix. It's like everybody gets mad. It's like, why are y'all cutting it off? Y'all do commercials. Well, we don't want to show you that much wrestling. Like, we want you to come back next week. But no, I give Raw a B. I mean, all of the same reasons y'all have, but it's just like, I like most of the skits more than some of the wrestling, but that's not to say the wrestling was bad. It's just, there was a lot of, it was all over the place, and it was just not consistent. You know, the wrestling could have been a little bit better, but I mean, that's the bulk of the show. It's pretty much going to be promos. And I think I had a conversation with somebody. The wrestling show I got to be a fan Saturday as opposed to being in the ring. Imagine how awkward that is when all the fans are like, why aren't you in the ring? It's like, well, you wouldn't be able to ask me that if I knew why. Like, I'm sitting behind you in the stands. But no, it's just like, it's a TV show. It's a promo. It's nothing but commercials. And that's how it's been for American wrestling since the 2000s, since the Monday Night Wars. It hadn't just started now. It's just TKO is more about the money than most. So it's like, we just get a lot of promos, a lot of commercials, and a little bit of wrestling. And then on the PLEs, we turn on ESPN or Peacock, get all the wrestling we want with commercials. So, I mean, the stuff was good Monday night, but it was just, like I said, the wrestling I wish was better. Like the Usos and New Day match. It was a big deal, and then it happened, and you're like, all right, that wasn't the best. Same thing with the Intercontinental match. The women wrestled, and it was like, all right, that was good, but that wasn't it. And then it's just every match was like high expectation, and the payout wasn't as great, but it you get $10 instead of $100. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we could deal with it. They'll be better next week, or they might be worse, but it's going to be there regardless.
Yep, absolutely. Guys, that wraps up this Tuesday night edition of our recap of Monday Night Raw. Don't forget, Pro Wrestling Tees, Bob Cook shirt. Please buy them. Comfortable shirts. They look good, and you're going to be helping Bob as well. Also, tomorrow night, part 2 of amazing interview with Mickey Knuckles. She's such a talented woman. She, former TNA star, multiple championships that she's won. She's considered the queen of death matches. If you guys haven't watched part 1 yet, check that out. It's really good. I'm looking forward to that part 2 edition. Tomorrow is going to be live on YouTube and Facebook at 6 p.m. Central. And then, of course, we will be back on Thursday night. Myself, Robbie Idol, Michael McCordy as well. George won't join us because
hey, George, you could change your name and just come back as Billy Idol, because I heard him call me Billy Idol earlier today.
I almost did. I corrected myself.
I was like, damn you, KG, at least if you're going to say, at least say Austin Idol,
Yeah, go a little higher. Not same level.
I called myself. And guys, don't forget, check out Robbie. Go buy Robbie Idol's book, Looking Up at the Lights. It is a great read. I highly recommend it. You can find it on Kindle. Is the easiest place to find it. Correct?
Correct.
Perfect. George, anything happening besides you sitting down with the fans watching instead of performing?
So I do want to take the time to tell Robbie Idol, thank you for the book. I will get to it as soon as possible. I love the autograph. I love the covers. I even showed my kids got ADHD, so I tried to show them that you wrestled the Undertaker, and they were like all over the place. They're like, look who he's fighting. I'm like trying to get these kids to focus on the TV. I was like, all right, you see the guy on the cover of the book? Look who he's fighting. They run and get the action figure because they have the mean mark.
Robbie, God damn it. Stop sending autographed books out. It lessens how valuable it is to me, because when you're old ass croaks, I don't be worth all this shit because you're giving
Hey, brother. You're a fan. You are a fan. I'm a fellow performer. He can give me a book if he wants.
It's my co-host,
Yeah,
my brothers in crime. I got to take care of my brothers in crime,
Right, man. Jeez, man, let me have something here.
Right? Let me tell you what's going to happen. You thinking that thing's going to be worth something when I drop dead, you're going to have to pay somebody to take that one.
God damn it. There's no game ever. Go ahead, George.
So I have nothing else for the rest of the year, but hopefully 2026 is different. I'll die if I don't. Fan Expo in New Orleans is the second weekend in January. It's a big Comic-Con style convention. They're already touting that John Cena is the biggest guest there, so he's going to be there. Of course, it's a hefty price to do everything with John Cena. However, probably upstairs, away from John Cena, there will be a wrestling show. It's Top Draw and Bizarre Wrestling, two of our local companies, Gulf Coast companies, that are putting the show on. So we don't have a list or lineup yet, but tickets are available. And of course, the Fan Expo is already selling tickets. So, I mean, if you go to fan festivals and stuff like that, buy tickets, and hey, there's a wrestling show too. And we have some fun out there. So As far as I know, that's my next one. I don't have anything else, before that. But starting next year that's the 10th and the 11th. That's 2 wrestling shows, and I might be in New Iberia on the 10th, but I don't know yet. A lot of details. I'll put it on my site as soon as I iron it out. But yeah, Robbie, thank you for the book. Sorry, KG, you're not the only one. They make M&Ms in all colors.
Hey, at that fan fest, tell them they want to pay my plane ticket and give me a hotel room and pay my meals. I'll come out and be in there, and I'll bring my books with me.
There you go.
Guys there.
And on that end, I'll see you guys tomorrow night for part 2 of Mickey Knuckles' interview. You guys have a great rest of your night. Robbie, George, yes, bye, George. Well, guys, you guys have.
Oh no, this is my John Cena shirt. Buy those too.
Good night, gentlemen.